Hello everyone, this is NC Lord, and today we have a very special guest. I may have mentioned him before in a previous video, but he's actually the one who originally made this mod. I've done my own creative liberties, as you may have noticed the different coasters, etc. for the DOR mod. He has his own version of it, which it's pretty nice. I like the way he did the textures, honestly. But yeah, it's.
Thank you.
I like the classic look of the normal tiles, and this is the highest resolution. Is that going to be your deck leader, or if you want to remove this as your deck leader?
I was thinking about it.
You can.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
All right, cool. Just you know what, I can even.
Sirloin is always helping me out.
Very well. You're welcome to use whatever you like as your deck leader, as long as it fits in that space appropriately. Oh, I got to put on the turn counter. Yeah, that's always... We will roll to decide who goes first, of course. I'll just... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah. That's terrible. Okay.
Alright, I guess I'll go first.
Alright. Nope.
And then first player gets to draw an extra card.
No, that's the old, up until the current generation, the current rulings. You don't get to draw an extra on the first turn if you go first. It was a good balancing idea, honestly. I think they should have done that from the beginning, to be honest, because it felt like almost everyone wanted to go first. By the way, you know how your cards have those backs with like the white rows, as myself and my audience and possibly Rez can see? How did you do that?
I just found the symbol and like, hang on, let me...
Yeah, if you could later explain, maybe not during while we're filming this video. I'd love to do that for my future videos, especially with Rez. He'd probably like to do that himself. You know, I'm just gonna zoom in for the audience perspective. It looks really nice. I've got like black cards as the back, right?
Yeah.
You know, okay, so you play this one card. I'm sure there's more you want to do with, I don't know what your hand is, but...
No, that's it.
Really?
That's it.
Okay, then just click the end turn thing and I'll begin my turn.
I don't think it's... Is it on?
Yeah, it's a... Oh, yeah, no, I gotta give it to you, and then you click it. There you go. Okay, yeah. I forgot to give you the end turn. I just realized, wait a minute, what's that doing there? Okay, I moved my deck leader forward. For everyone wondering, I am not using a standard version of the ban list. Oh, good. Yeah, I will. I'd love to have a look when you're done, Rez. It'll appear in one of my videos the minute it is done. I activate Graceful Charity. Graceful Charity and Pot of Greed are my only draw power, although I do have plenty of search power. This feels so ridiculous right now. Oh my god, this hand. I'm going to discard the train guy, and I suppose Malefic Cyber End, because why not? Then I'm going to activate Pot of Greed. I'm going to have 2 counters, by the way, after all this is done. I'm just going to keep track of my kaiju counters, because I'm sure you know how these work. Oh, fun. Okay, I'm going to set 1 card face down and move it to my... here. Oh, and in this one, ModTyrant, this is important. You can't run over cards with your deck leader in alternate. So that might be important later on. I just thought I'd make that clear to you before something happens. I will set this here. I will actually banish from my extra deck 1 card. Cyber End Dragon. to special summon Malefic Cyber End because nothing's leaving the field. It defaults around Deck Leader. Whoop. Yeah, I'll turn that around. There you go. I will move it forward, and then I will normal summon the monster called Night Express Knight. Do you respond to summon, by the way? Of Malefic Cyber End.
I'm just waiting.
Okay. Night Express Knight over here. I'm going to overlay these two. So overlay, I can summon it onto any of where the material previously was. Go into Ravenous Tarantula. Move Ravenous Tarantula forward. Rank up into Seven Sins. I'm sure you're familiar with Seven Sins. If not, the res is reasonably high quality for you to read. I do stress the word reasonably because these were made at a resolution meant to be printed, just so everyone knows. I did not personally make these templates.
Yeah, I'm reading it now.
I might actually come up with a good title for this video, funny enough. Just a side note for anyone wondering. Okay.
Okay, so is that it?
No, I'll move it one thing forward and end my turn. My mouse is a little off. It's the traction. So yeah, I'll end my turn there. Go ahead. Okay. Oh, how's my deck get like that? I accidentally pressed F. Okay, I will be starting out my turn activating the trap card known as Skill Drain, paying 1,000 life points. Do you respond to the activation of Skill Drain?
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I will normal summon, after moving this over here, I will normal summon Beast King Barbos to the field. Because Skill Drain's out, his attack is reset back to 3,000. I will move him one thing forward.
That makes sense.
I will enter my battle phase and I will attack your face down with Seven Sins. Do you respond?
Yeah, activate my trap card.
Okay. Now, in this case, I'd like to... Are you sure you want to activate that? Because I don't know if you read this, but the ruling in DOR is that in the case of these cards, it would summon on that card. So do you really... Or, well, I'm gonna say in this case...
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Actually, I'm gonna say it defaults around Deck Leader in this case.
I mean, you don't get to attack again because you already attacked.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I actually take up that spot, but you default
It's
around...
fine. We'll use it the normal way.
No, I'm actually thinking, because this is being chained to the attack, right? So, because this would take up the spot, it would default around Deck Leader.
Okay, that's fine too. That's fine too.
You know, it basically... Yeah, no, I'm saying it would...
I want you to attack it anyways.
Yeah, it has no effects at the moment.
I'm doing chain.
chain this. Okay, you realize though, right? Because your monster was special summoned, I can use Seven Sins effect. You know what Seven Sins does, right? Well, actually, no, I can't. Skill drain's out. Never mind.
You got skill drain on the field.
Yeah, but if skill drain's gone, you're screwed. I'm just pointing that out for our audience.
It's not special summoned if it's under magical hats.
Okay, it was still special summoned to the field at one point in time. The special summon state does not change. Ask Rez on this. He'll back me up here for rulings on magical hats. As for this, I just need to see how many you have in the grave, or you use stuff from the deck. This is an interesting card, though. Okay. This would default around deck leader. For the sake of, this would default around deck leader, so whatever you're planning.
Alright. I have a terrible hand, so...
I'll bet. I'll take your word for that one. Oh, and as a direct result of that, this would be at least at 4 counters. I'm just gonna quickly read magical hats. When this first came out, in my opinion, magical hats was useless. When it first came out.
I always thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, Rez, I do agree. It's just I had enough time. I took enough time to find the YDK file and all that, and I didn't really want to dick ModTyrant around too long with that. So for time constraints, I kind of just, But I will in one of my future videos. Like, your alternate art for Skill Drain looks great. Your Malefic Cyber End, that also looks great. And that tool that Anti-Meta made, does these count as being special summoned? I'm just reading these because that could have... It doesn't even say they're special summoned. Okay. That's interesting. It still defaults around deck leader, though, just for audience.
Of course, I know, like, if skill drain's gone, and we find out Wingweaver's returned, then yeah, I lose. But as long as magical hats is in effect, I should be fine.
And you still, as far as I can tell, Relay Soul is a card that I've almost never seen used before. You still pay like cost and whatever, so that's still applicable for. I've never seen this card actually be used. Die from life points. Yes, or decking out in this case because of the DOR.
Actually, am I allowed to move these?
Yes, you are. Unlike the difference between the what are called the main format and alternate, you can move activated cards. Like I can move my Skill Drain, for example. I can't move my Field Spell because that's in its own special area, not on the board. Field spells count as something separate. Terrain cards do work, but as...
That was your turn, I did all of that.
Oh, okay. Oh, then I'll put this back for the sake of,
Do we draw up to 5?
No, it's just you draw once per turn. It's normal rulings apply. Yeah, that's all I could do if that's all during my turn. I'll tell you, though, getting anyone who's never heard of DOR to play it is actually a challenge, especially the highly competitive players. They look at you like you're trying to offer them witchcraft or something, Like, they're borderline superstitious about these things. They don't, you know, they see it as something more alien and foreign. I can kind of understand where they're coming from. Oh, by the way, all these count, because they're all monsters, they count towards your limit. I'm just saying. Oh, okay, those go away at the end phase. I just wasn't sure how magical hats worked. At the end of the battle phase. Okay, so, yeah. You know, I'm surprised you didn't have cards that, like, breakthrough skill or something that would benefit in the grave. Because that would actually be a smart use of magical hats, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I can only work with what I draw.
Of course. Alright. I'm going to move my deck leader forward. Move this over here. Set this here. And enter my battle phase. This is going to attack this. I'm just going to read that real quick. Hold on a second.
Does it just destroy it? What happens?
Because it can't equip.
It doesn't do anything.
Because it can't equip to my monster, of course it gets destroyed. So yeah, it literally nothing happens as far as that's concerned. Hold on a sec. I'm just reading something quickly. I'll end my turn.
How do you tribute summon?
The same way you normally do. You can say, for example, you want to tribute this, and you only need one tribute. You could summon it there, but you can summon it anywhere around the deck leader. And if you're tributing the monster, you may summon it where that tributed monster was. But you can tribute from anywhere on the field that you control. Or in the case of, like,
okay,
Soul
that's
Exchange. Or that Monarch quick play, you know, any of your opponent's applicable monsters.
I get you.
It all depends. Okay, so you flip that.
Tributing it.
Oh, okay. No, your tribute summon.
Diagonally?
No, you can't attack diagonally, and I told you it defaults around deck leader, so these are the vacant squares at the moment. You wouldn't be able to. You could tribute that monster, but you could only.
Anywhere on the field.
You can tribute anywhere on the field, but your monster itself gets summoned around deck leader. It doesn't matter with.
You can tribute it anywhere, but summon only around the leader.
Yes, basically.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
A similar ruling would apply to. I'm just checking my face down. Hold on. In response to the summon, I'm going to activate my face down. Call the Haunted. And I will summon this to the field. It just has 3k attack. It doesn't do anything at the moment.
Alright.
Rez, that's really hard to do, you know? Like, to do automated...
Wouldn't it get destroyed and then kill the monster?
Yeah, it would. I'm just activating it anyways, because I might as well.
If I'm attacking Call the Haunted, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. So, that basically...
Ah, okay.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I just realized I had the power to end this duel at any point. I'm going to use the effect of my field spell to search for a kaiju. You know what kaiju monsters do, right? They're basically like lava golems. So I'm going to tribute...
They don't have effects right now.
They don't need to. They're from the hand. From my hand, I'm going to tribute your monster, and that ends the game because of Soul Relay's effect. Yeah, it's basically like Lava Golem. Lava Golem's a hand effect, so it doesn't matter about what affects the field.
How am I dead?
Because this will be tributed by this effect. Like, look up any of the kaijus. They all do the same except the Mecha Kaiju. This tributes your monster. It'll take up this spot. But because of Relay, because this left the field, you lose, essentially. That's all. You know, if Anti-Meta Man's interpretation of the rules means all win conditions, Soul Relay would actually be a broken-ass card. Because all win conditions are null and void, and no damage is taken.
I get you. That makes sense. I get it.
Yeah, so it would be game by virtue of this. This would be under your control, but it would automatically be game before you could use it. So, let's see what you had in your hand. Show the audience. I want to see the first two cards, actually.
Yeah, there's not much. That was all I had in my hand.
Old cards, though. Jeez.
I just drew that. That wasn't actually in my hand.
Dream Sprite. Level 2s are actually useful nowadays. That's the funny thing.
I'm old school. I was playing this.
Alright. You want to go again? I'm just going to gather up my cards. Hold on a second.
We can. Maybe I'll get a better hand this time.
Sure. You gotta keep in mind the thing about Malefics. You do not want to use Soul Relay against me, because it's so easy for me to remove that shit from the field. It's not even funny. Just, there are problems you can't even see coming a mile away, because of just how ridiculous.
It's a desperate card. I had no other moves.
I would
have lost 2 turns earlier.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I just would have bluffed me out in that situation, because there's just no way, you know.
Also, I have another card that, if I had my other card to go with it, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, true. Oh, hold on. I'm just trying to make sure these are the only ones highlighted before I do this. Okay, 40 cards, flip, shuffle.
I'll be right back.
Of course. Everyone, tune in for part 2.